Welcome to another cast by Gilga. Just to let you guys know in advance, I am still recovering a little bit from being sick this past week. So if I sound a little bit sniffly, that is the reason why. But we're going to hop into it right now. This is actually I believe, a grand finals match from a battle cup within the past few weeks. So there is going to be a little bit of drafting here. So coming out from the Radiant side, we are going to see a first ban on PA. Not very surprising to see. One of the very big power carries right now. So I personally think that hero. I hate that hero personally. One of my least favorite heroes to play against. Dyer's going to follow it up to ban out Magnus. Very strong hero, just to couple out with any melee carry as well. And then Radiant's going to follow it up with a ban on Dazzle. Again, just another very, very strong support right now. Can even be played as a core in certain matchups. Interesting to see Beastmaster being banned out. I don't know if that's maybe just some homework on the other team, or if that hero has started to get better in kind of like the higher level pro scenes. That's interesting to see. Brewmaster, not as surprising to see. Very strong hero right now with the change to Drunken Brawler. Makes him very, very strong even in the early game. And then again, Oracle ban out. That's very interesting to see. Not really a support that you see too often. But that, on the other hand, by the Radiant team, a Lich coming out is something you see very often. Very, very strong hero. Can just do a lot of things at once. Very strong in the laning phase with the change to the Ice Armor being that AoE damage mitigation spell now. Dyer is going through the picks very quickly. Looks like they've picked both their supports quite early, going with a Rubik and a Vengeful Spirit. Pretty solid overall. We'll see kind of what they couple that up with to really make good use out of those two. If you can still Chain Frost, though, that's going to be a huge win for the Dyer team.
Radiant team back.
Radiant's going to follow up their Lich pick with an Axe pick. Quite early for Axe, in my opinion, but maybe they see something really good against the support duo of the Dyer team. If he's wanting to cut the wave as Axe, both of those heroes aren't the greatest at stopping that. So we'll be seeing, I'd be surprised if they don't go and cut the wave with Axe. Especially if they cut the wave with Lich with him. I just don't see a way they stop him with like Lich with the change to Ice Armor on top of Axe. What is it called now? I just want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly for you guys. Frost Shield now, okay. So Frost Shield and Sinister Gaze, okay.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team.
I've seen a Juggernaut ban from the Radiant team, as well as Tusk ban from the Dyer team. I do agree with the Tusk ban. I think Tusk is an insanely strong hero right now. Probably one of the strongest support heroes at the moment. Just very, very good at roaming and getting kills off with his tag team. We're seeing a Grimstroke ban by the Radiant team. Are they thinking that the Vengeful Spirit or the Rubik's a core? I mean, we could see the Rubik go mid. We did see that a lot kind of starting out with the patch, and I feel like it's kind of slowed down. I might be wrong on that, that it hasn't been picked mid as much as it was the first week or two of the patch. But again, I could be wrong.
10 seconds remaining.
Dyer team doesn't have a lot of good combinations with Grimstroke right now. With Grimstroke's ult, but you know, they still have two picks to couple up with that if they go with the Grimstroke. So Radiant team not even taking any chances in that regard. They're going to keep that out of the pool. Dyer team going into their reserve time a little bit with their next ban. And it is also interesting to see that the Radiant team with the Lich pick are the ones that ban out the Grimstroke. Generally, you know, Grimstroke, Lich, very, very strong support duo considering the interaction between Chain Frost and Soulbind. Dyer team is going to end up banning Dark Willow. Kind of a hero that's fallen off a little bit, but has been seeing just a little bit of a resurgence recently. A couple picks here and there, whereas before had kind of completely fallen off the radar with the changes and nerfs to her toolkit. Dyer team is going to go ahead and pick an Undying, which go ahead and shows that it's probably going to be a core Rubik. I would be kind of expecting it to be a mid Rubik. Although I personally think that Venge core isn't terrible. I think she's still quite strong, especially if it's like an offlane core Venge. You can really do a lot of damage. You can go like an Aura build, you can go like slight damage with Shadow Blade, stuff like that. So Radiant team's going to pick their last support, a Lion. A lot of damage coming out from that ulti with the change to Finger of Death. So we'll see kind of how often he's able to get that off, see if he's able to get any stacks up pretty early.
Radiant team pick.
Dire team's going to follow it up with a Venomancer. So it looks like the Dire team's really going for longer drawn-out team fights. And Radiant team's going to be like, you want a long drawn-out team fight? We're going to match it, and we're going to go Terrorblade. Very, very strong, very, very, very strong heroes coming out of the Radiant team. Dire's really going to have their hands full with this Terrorblade, I feel.
10 seconds remaining.
Dire team really wants to just keep team fights drawn out as long as possible. Use a lot of Fade Bolts, use a lot of Decay stacks. Have that Tombstone get stacks up. Maybe even have a second Tombstone once he gets that talent. And Venomancer, the longer a team fight goes, you know, the stronger they are. Or stronger he is, rather. And all it takes from them... I really think they need another couple with Venge. I feel like their damage... The Venge picks... Excuse me, the Venge pick is a little bit out of place. Because with Venge, you want, like... You want to swap into, like, an instant kill, right? But they don't really have that. They have Lift, they have Fade Bolt, they have Decay, and they have, like... Venomous Gale. That's pretty much it. Maybe, like, a Necro could be good for them. I think they might be able to do enough damage to get a good Reaper Scythe off. I think that Necro would be very good here. I think Necro should be the pick for the Dire team. Radiant ends up banning out Drow with the last pick. Pretty good considering they have 3 ranged heroes on the other team, and it would be pretty decent for the Dire team. Dire is going to ban out DK. I think that's also a very good ban. DK would be perfect for the Radiant lineup, being kind of like another frontliner or a kind of like a co-initiator with that Axe, so... I still do think Axe is going to cut the wave, though, and I don't see how the Dire team stop it.
5 seconds remaining.
I think that Dire needs to go Necro, or they may be in trouble. But I mean, let's see what they're thinking. Radiant team now dipping a little bit into their reserve time. They have about 2 minutes left of theirs. Dire team has about a minute left of their reserve time. So just kind of give you guys an update. So Radiant team, for anyone that's just listening and not watching, Radiant team has Lich, Axe, Lion, Terrorblade, and a soon-to-be 5th pick. Dire team has Rubik, Vengeful Spirit, Undying, Venomancer. So Radiant team is going to finish off their team with a Storm Spirit. Quite good. I think that Dire team has really only one way to stop it, which is Lift. I think that good Storm Spirit players will dodge Magic Missile. So Storm, very, very solid pick, especially once he gets BKB. There's just nothing that's going to be able to stop him. He can do a lot of damage in fights. And that's just going to let Terrorblade run amok.
5 seconds remaining.
All right, Dire team, what are you thinking with this last pick? Another hero that could be okay with them would be Faceless Void. Faceless Void would be another pretty good pick. Sorry about that, guys. Let me mute my phone. I apologize. They end up going an anti-mage. I think that's just a snap pick too. I think it's just a snap pick because of the Storm Spirit, and I don't really like it. I think that Radiant team has a lot of ways to lock him down. But as we all know, it's not just the draft that wins, although it can be a huge factor, but a lot of the times it is up to execution. So let's see if the Radiant team can execute on their draft here. All right. Game should be starting any moment here. Again, this is a Battle Cup Grand Final match. Winner take all here. I give the edge draft-wise only to the Radiant team. But if they're not able to finish that game, I mean, anti-mage, he can run amok, and the anti-mage can take control of a game later. But Terrorblade is a very strong counter to anti-mage in and of itself, so we'll be interested to see kind of
Prepare for battle.
what they end up doing here. Check out the starting items from these two teams. 2 mangoes coming out from Undying. It looks like anti-mage is going aggressive to the bottom lane, which could be quite good because he will be facing a lion, but it will be a Terrorblade down here, and Terrorblade is not the greatest at level 1. The only way that he's going to be strong level 1 is if he gets Metamorphosis level 1, and I mean, if you look at these heroes, they are not the easiest to kill at level 1. I mean, you use Metamorphosis and then anti-mage just blinks away from you. I mean, maybe you get the Undying, but again, he has a stout shield and he's Undying. Top lane, we do see the Lich and Axe lane like we thought we would see, and they end up bringing down Veno and Venge, and that's not terrible. And Veno's saying, fuck it, let's just go right at him. We're men. We might see a clash up here. Gonna focus up here. Battle Hunger does come out early, and it looks like the Dire team decides that they instantly regret their decision. Are the Undying and Anti-Mage going to come up here? Looks like they are trying to aggro and see if they can get the bounty here, but they are going to try and get a contest on it. Lion does stun up the Anti-Mage. Terrorblade does get the bounty, and it looks like he might get the other one as well. I did hear that the Anti-Mage did level up his mana burn from level 1. Is this Terrorblade going to die as a consequence of getting both bounties? I don't believe he is. I don't think that they have the mobility. I know another stun comes out from Lion, just making sure. And good play by Terrorblade getting both of those bounty runes there. It looks like Axe and Lich got the other 2. So the Radiant team got all 4 bounty runes there. So it is going to be a Rubik mid, just like we expected. Will be interesting to see how that lane goes. And top lane as well will be interesting to see how this lane goes. This lane down here, bottom lane, I think will be a little bit more passive. I'd be surprised to see really any kills come out. Metamorphosis already coming out by the Terrorblade here, just trying to get as much of an advantage in the first couple waves as he can.
Denies you.
I will be interested to see if the Axe decides to cut the wave at any point during this game.
Tower is under attack.
A lot of damage coming out on this Terrorblade by the Anti-Mage, about half health. Though goes ahead and uses his stick a little bit early. D-word coming out from Lion as well. Sun comes out onto the Lich with the Venomous Scale. This might be a level 1 kill. We do see Frost coming out, mitigating a lot of the damage, and they might turn on this Vengeful Spirit now. Axe is trying to run him down. Damage onto the Lich gets him quite low, but he is able to escape, and it looks like no one's going to end up falling there. Looking at this mid lane, we do see Rubik 8 for 1. Storm 7 and 1, so quite even there. Bottom line, we do see Terrorblade 5 and 2. Anti-Mage at 5 and 0.
Sorry.
Alright. Siri, you need to be quiet here. Siri's trying to be my codecaster today, guys. We do see a Frost coming out with the Lich Q onto the Venomancer here. Trying to get the kill. The body blocks are coming out. Battle Hunger as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to have enough to get this kill. Another Q comes out from Lich. Fairy Fire onto the Venomancer. He's really trying to go for this. Another auto attack. He is going to finish it for the first blood. Excuse me. A roam from Vengeful Spirit trying to get a kill onto Storm. Not going to be successful. Good positioning by the Storm Spirit to not let that happen. And that is a big deal. I mean, Vengeful Spirit just roamed, which caused the Venomancer to get first blooded. And they don't get the kill in mid lane in return. Mid lane exactly even right now, 14 and 1 for both Rubik and Storm Spirit. Bottom lane, we are seeing almost even down below as well. Anti-Mage 12 and 0, 13 and 0 with 13 and 2 on Terrorblade. And then top lane, we do see Axe at 11 and 4, dominating that lane. Venomancer only 2 and 0. That is a complete dumpster fire of a lane for them. Might see another kill coming out from them as well. Another Frost coming out onto the Venomancer, and this will be another kill. And this is bad news bears for the Dire team. Anti-Mage is doing better down here than he would up there, and that is definitely something to not just brush off. But Radiant team has the ability to take these fights super early, and I am worried about the Dire team. Ruby getting quite low, but it looks like he does have a couple things coming on the core here. And man, Venomancer is taking the walk of shame back to this lane right now. Lich is just this huge lane bully in today's meta with the change to his skills. Another Metamorphosis coming out, getting a little bit of damage onto the Undying. Stun does come out, and this anti-mage has no mana. Will this be a kill? I believe it will be, and that is a big kill for the Radiant team. Absolutely humongous kill for them. With that kill, Terrorblade is now leading the net worth. In fact, all 3 cores from the Radiant team are leading on top of the net worth charts. 3K lead 4 minutes in by the Radiant team. I mean, that is crazy.
Haste.
Storm does get a haste rune. It looks like he may be coming top to try and get a kill on them just to further pad their lead. Let's see if that ends up working out. We do see Lich starting to be aggressive. Storm Spirit is to the right a little bit. Frostshell does come out on Lich, going in onto the Venomancer, about half health. Venomous Scale does hit on all 3. Magic Missile to stop the Lich, but the Venomancer is going to fall. And Storm doesn't look like he is going to try and go for the Vengeful Spirit after that. Good roam by the Storm, getting a kill on the core again. That Venomancer's having such a hard time. Terrorblade now leading the last hit charts, 29-9. Not that surprising, very strong last hitter. Especially with Metamorphosis, even without it, just very, very strong. A lot of damage. Magic Missile onto Axe to stop his advance onto the Venomancer once again. Just doing what they can to try and salvage this lane as little as they can.
Radiant's middle tower is
I mean, even at almost 6 minutes in, this Vengeful Spirit only has 4 last hits. I mean, that feels really bad. Like, he can't come up to the last hits anymore. He comes up a little bit, Battle Hunger into Frostshell, and you're done. We do see it. In fact, here we go. Just like I was saying, Battle Hunger comes out with a Frostshell and the call over the top, and I believe this is going to be yet another kill on Venomancer. My goodness. Sinister Gaze onto the Vengeful Spirit, but I don't think that's going to result in anything. In fact, it does not. Now, this Venomancer 0-4. My goodness gracious. A lot of damage coming out from both sides on the Rubik and the Storm Spirit. Both of them at level 6. Looks like he's stolen the Remnant from Storm Spirit just to kind of help him with his last hits. In fact, he is now leading the last hit charts with 36 last hits. Second is Terrorblade with 34, 35 in counting. Let's look at 5-minute bounties. Who got those? It looks like
Invisibility.
Storm bottled 2 of them. Undying got 1 and Lion got the other one. So 2 for 2 on that one.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Might see another dive here considering the creeps are at the tower and they have a lot of diving potential. In fact, here they go. Frost Shield over the top, call onto the Vengeful Spirit. We do see Rubik TPing in. I don't know if it's going to be in time. The Magic Missile does stop it. Rubik does still call and immediately calls the Axe, and there's a lot of damage coming on. He is going to fall. Vengeful Spirit still alive here. Uses the Mango, will fall before he gets up another spell. Lich does pick up that kill, and I believe that's going to be that. Good rotation by the Rubik there, helping them a little bit. Vengeful Spirit does stay alive, or excuse me, Venomancer stays alive, and that's good XP for him. He really needed that. We do see another Metamorphosis up by the Terrorblade here. Interested to see if they're able to get a kill with it, or if they will just simply use it for pushing. Lift by Rubik onto the Storm with the call over the top, doing a lot of damage to the Storm Spirit. Not stepping out until the very last minute, and he should get away here. A lot of damage coming up by the Rubik. Almost was enough to bring him down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Illusion.
I do hear a call coming out. I believe it was just on creeps. Clearing out a stack here. Axe, instead of going for a Vanguard, ended up going a Hood. They do have a lot of magic. In fact, let me just pardon myself, and talk about the Frost Shield coming out onto the Venomancer again. A lot of damage. I hear Storm zipping across over the top as well to finish off that kill and snag it. Kill secured. Trying to follow it up to get the Vengeful Spirit kill as well. Pull back, and that's going to be the end of him as well. Double kill for the Storm Spirit. Another Metamorphosis down below. Do they get the kill on it? One more attack, they will finish him off, but he does pay his life. The Rubik is going to get the kill. Venomancer has TP down here, and they do hit the Gale onto the line. He is going to be finished off here at some point. And that is a good rotation by Veno. Slowly starting to make his way back into this game. Dire team with a couple good plays here. Killing off the Terrorblade and the Lion there. Still down by 6k at 9 minutes in. I mean, that's quite a doozy. I mean, Lich is the second support, and he is above the anti-mage right now. Another kill attempt coming in onto the Undying this time. We do see a magic missile over the top to try and stop Axe, but he's going to keep chasing onto this Undying. Quickly changes his mind, pops his hood, and they should be out of there. "10-minute runes coming out here. Looks like there may be a battle for it on the top lane. I do see some pings coming out. Let's just trying to stop the Undying from coming in, but Rubik is here. Fadebolt coming out to push him away. They're going to get that bounty rune. Lion is pushing away the Venomancer. In fact, Storm is going to zip on him. Gale does come out, but the Remnant is going to kill him over the top. We do see another lift onto the Lich coming out from behind. Tombstone is down as well. Magic Missile is going to stun the Lich as well. Chain Frost does come out. That's going to do a lot of damage. In fact, it's probably going to end up killing the Undying. Yes, it does. Frost Shield does come out, but it's not going to be enough to stop the Fade Bolt from Rubik finishing him off. I mean, Axe is trying to chase this Rubik, but he has 4 zombies on him. And that will help get him a little bit more spin procs, but it's not really going to get him anywhere. Another zip over the top. We do see Storm going for the anti-mage, gets him quite low, but a lucky Invis rune is going to stop him. In fact, Rubik gives him a salve to really heal him up with the arcane boots as well, and that's basically a fountain. Rubik is the new fountain hero. And they might be going for a kill on this Storm. They did just level up Mana Void. In fact, Mana Void quickly comes out, and a quick Fade Bolt finishes him off as well. Roaming anti-mage, boys. This is a new meta. Before anyone comments on that, I'm fucking kidding. Back top lane, we do see another Battle Hunger and Frost Shield combo. Misses the call though, and that's going to be the end of that gank attempt.
You fought badly, died worse.
All right. How is Terrorblade doing down here? Leading the network charts by about 550 gold. Has 2 Wraith Bands, and he went the double tread build. I don't know if I'm triggered or... Is this now like commonly accepted? I know I saw Crystallize on Navi get that. In fact, pardon me, we do see another kill attempt. Sinister Gaze is going to stop the attempt to run away. Double call by the Axe with the dunk onto the Vengeful Spirit. Do they follow up on the Undying? No, they do not. They quickly see the Tombstone, and it looks like they are going to try and kill the Tombstone. Axe, there's a Tombstone you got to kill here, buddy. Axe doesn't give a shit. He just wants the kill. Storm over the top coming across as well. How's about half mana if he wants to zip again? Undying, I don't think that you're getting out of here, buddy. This looks like it's just inevitable here. Looks like a Gale did come out after the lift from Rubik onto the Terrorblade, but he quickly TPs out, knowing that they don't have any more stuns, and he throws out the question mark over the top. So Anti-Mage going for Battle Fury, nowhere close. Probably looking to be like about a 20-minute Battle Fury, which is not good for the Dire team. They have a lot of work to do. Rubik has done quite well. Second in net worth, has 2 Null Talismans with Arcane Boost, going for the Ag's first item. And we'll get that very quickly. We'll probably have it by 15 minutes, I would want to say. Looks like Venge is going for Arcane Boots as well, so they'll be very poor for quite a while. Radiant team looks like they were trying to set up on a kill bottom lane, but it looks like Dire sniffed it out, and they will get out of dodge. Axe did end up finishing off his phase boots with the hood. Really far away from a Blink Dagger, only about 500 gold. Looks like Dire Team is going to collapse on this. Let's see what happens. We do see Fadebolt over the top. Anasteel onto the Lich Q. He's going to use it automatically onto the Axe and use the lift to push him away. We do see Tombstone down as well. Magic Missile onto the line, about half out. The swap onto the Axe as well. Axe turns around and calls the Vengeful Spirit with an Lion stun over the top. Dunk onto the Vengeful Spirit is going to finish him off. Meanwhile, the Rubik did finish off the Lion, and Axe is going to fall as well. It's a 2-for-1 for the Dire team. Looks like they might be chasing even more. Radiant team is using the shrine to get... Oh my goodness! Storm Spirit, hello! Goodbye! Might be trying to get another kill. Chain Frost does come out, will not bounce at all. Frost shot over the top, will he get away? In fact, it did bounce to those creeps down here. It looks like the Lich will get away. Man, Storm Spirit really underestimating the damage out of that Rubik. And we saw a Remnant, and we saw a Fade Bolt, and then Storm was, he pieced out. I'm not sure he wanted to.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Axe almost at about 1,000 gold. We'll be trying to get that Blink Dagger as soon as he can. Looks like Terrorblade has finished up his Dragonlance. And it looks like he is going for the Manta next. So pretty common build coming out from him. Although I still don't know if the double treads... I think someone did the math on Reddit. That double treads is actually worth it. It just feels weird. It feels wrong, you know? Even if it's slightly better, I feel like I just couldn't bring myself to do it because it just feels wrong. I hope I'm not the only one. Rubik's going to have his Ags in about 100 gold, so about one more creep wave, he should have it right here, and that's going to be a huge pickup for them. They're going to have the Rubik steal every 2 seconds, and that's going to be a big deal for them. There's a lot of good spells to steal from the Radiant team. Battle Hunger, Storm Zip, Metamorphosis even's quite good, Chain Frost or Spike by Lion, a lot of good spells coming out.
That should help.
15-minute bounties are coming out, and they might get a kill onto this Axe here. We do see Venomous Gale heading onto the Axe, followed up by the Magic Missile and Decay. Tombstone's going to come out with the Flesh Golem, and he's just going to TP out, but they are going to stop it immediately with the swap. In fact, he panicked and uses both swaps on accident. We do see Lich coming in. Don't know what his positioning is doing here. Looks like he's just trying to play Sacrificial Lamb. Does get a huge Chain Frost with the Finger of Death over the top. And Rubik is going to steal the Finger of Death, but is he going to be able to get it off? The Storm's here to lock him down. And another Earth Spike from Lion to finish him off before he can do anything. He's looking for more, trying to get this Venomancer. Has a little bit of mana left to zip maybe one more time. With the Metamorphosis from the Terrorblade, they probably will get this. In fact, they will. And that's a 4-for-1 by the Radiant team. Little bit overstepping their boundaries, the Dire team. Oh, big Mana Void from the anti-mage, just sneaking in from the back lines, but now he's out of mana, and he's definitely going to pay for this. Pause comes out, but he is going to be Denzo. Call over the top, and there's the dunk. Good night. Huge Mana Void from that anti-mage, though. Automatically kills the poor Lion and finishes off the Storm Spirit. Our Dire team going to try and defend this. They don't have Tombstone for another 10 seconds. And they used both of their swap charges. Tower is falling very low. We do see Venomancer here as well. And Undying, I don't know what that was. In fact, Venomancer might be in trouble now too. He's just going to die from the right clicks. I mean, the dunk's a kill secured, but... Dire team, I'm sorry, but what was that? It's Dire in a lot of trouble now. Down 11 kills and 10k net worth. And this Terrorblade is quickly getting out of control. I mean, Anti-Mage is still a bit ways off of his Battle Fury. Still about 900 gold. Might get it a little quicker than I thought. I was saying 20 minutes. He might get it a little bit sooner than that, but... Checking up on any item progressions, Lion does have his Tranquil Boots. Is really close to his Blink Dagger, and that could be really, really good for getting on top of that Anti-Mage. Lich does have Tranquil Boots as well with a Soul Ring. Full wand completed, and it looks like he's very close to a Force Staff. Very good against Venomancer and the Tombstone. Rubik does have his Axe completed, and it looks like he's going for a Shadow Blade. We'll be interested to see how much he's able to get use out of that. Undying is going for an early mech, has the headdress, but that's about it, so that's a little bit of ways off. We do see the Yasha completed onto the Terrorblade, and it looks like he is about 800 gold away from the Manta style, so that will be finished quite shortly. Axe does now have his Blink completed, and it looks like he's going to go back for a Pipe instead of getting a Blade Mail. So we'll see how much that works out. The Pipe will do a lot of work against the Rubik, who does a lot of magic damage right now. Venomancer, still, a lot of damage coming out bottom lane. Excuse me, did catch the very last glimpse of Lion dying there. It looks like it was just a simple kill of lift with Fade Bolt into the Anti-Mage blinking over the top. Looking at this Venomancer, who's just struggled from the onset of the laning stage. He is third last net worth. He is below both Radiant supports. He has Arcane Boots and one Bracer. And it looks like he is going a mech as well. I hope that they're looking at this and not both going mech. Looks like they're both going Greaves. That's what they both have shift queued. I hope they coordinate this. Maybe just turn... Like, I saw that Veno bought the buckler first. I believe. I swear I saw this part go down. Well, he's bought the armor item at least. And Undying has the headdress, so he could always go back for something else like a pipe. We do see a smoke coming up from the Radiant team. They are going to go right uphill. Lich has his smoke broken, and he stops it. His source is right there. Looks like Radiant is going to use their Metamorphosis to try and get an early Roche. Swap does come out onto Lich with Magic Missile to follow it up. We do see another Tombstone coming up as well. He does get the Chain Frost off before he falls, and Axe is going to use his Blink to blink in, get a call onto the Vengeful Spirit. We do see Storm over the top doing a lot of damage. We do see an Axe Finger of Death just decimating the Radiant team, though. Huge Finger of Death. We do see a Mana Void as well finishing off the Storm Spirit, and Dire team gets a team wipe. Holy bejesus, that Finger of Death did a lot of damage. Wow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
And okay.
You fought badly. Died.
That is a Battle Fury and almost a full Yasha for anti-mage, and that's a huge turnaround for the Dire team. Radiant has to be very cautious now, seeing how much that finger just absolutely destroyed them. Lion needs to maybe be a little bit quick-fingered, using another spell after he uses his finger. Quick-fingered to use a spell after finger. Casting mouthfuls. It looks like this will be a tier 2 down. No, they play it safe and anti-mage blinks out before anything happens there. Terrorblade is chasing with the Storm, zip over the top. Looks like the Venge is going to be a sacrificial lamb here. Will fall. But salvaging just a little bit of what they lost there. It was the last net worth, but hey, that ain't nothing. Net worth disparity now down to 4K, and Anti-Mage has jumped up all the way to second place. Anti-Mage starting to have that Anti-Mage factor. Does have the Yasha completed, will have the Manta done shortly. And Veno probably will fall here. Storm is eyeing him. Gale is already used as well, and this Veno is a sad pup. He can't even get out of the trees. This is so sad. Alexa, this is so sad.
A storm was coming.
Poor thing. Oh, that was so sad to watch. My heart breaks for that Veno. We do see the Anti-Mage jumping out over the top. Does get a Mana Void out to stop the zip away and gets the last hit before he's able to zip away. Huge kill by the Anti-Mage. Really making this Storm Spirit's life a living hell at this point. Lich is probably going to fall here as well. Do hear stun over the top by the line. Both swaps used again by the Venge. He really needs to get better at that. You see Rubik, who has stolen the zip by the Storm Spirit, uses lift onto Axe, misses the call, steals call, and gets the call onto Axe. A lot of damage coming out of him. Magic Missile to follow it up. Fade Bolt to finish it off as well. Triple kill for the Anti-Mage. Gale and Veno ulti both on the Terrorblade, using that tree to dodge all the damage from the Terrorblade. We do see the kill coming out onto the Veno, but the Terrorblade is going to fall as well, and the Lion's going to fall as well.
Magic is an abomination.
And Dire team has just completely turned this around now. I think that Terrorblade has just gotten a little cocky. Storm Spirit trying to find this Rubik. I think that's an Orchid coming out from. Yes, it is, and he will find the Rubik kill, and that's 531 gold. Anti-Mage is angry, though. Has his Mana Void out now, getting a lot of damage, and Storm's going to zip up before anything happens, but it looks like the Anti-Mage is going to chase. Storm, you need to get out of there. Mana Void, huge Mana Void is going to do a lot of damage, but isn't able to get that last attack before he zips away again. And now the call is going to come out onto the Anti-Mage. Sinister Gaze over the top. Spell Shield does come out, and he is able to blink away, though. He uses Manta as well, just to make sure.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It looks like this Vengeful Sphere is probably going to fall, though. Blink, call it over the top with the Earth Spike to follow it up. Surely, there it is. With the Hex as well. There it is, and the Dunk to finish him off. The Venge does buy out the Vlads, though, before she dies. Didn't lose much gold there at all. Do see the Force Staff out on Lich now. And we did see that Orchid coming out in play onto that Rubik in that last kill. Very good pickup for them, but it's not good that that anti-mage was able to farm up his Manta before that Storm was able to get the Orchid. I mean, the Orchid's not really going to do much against the anti-mage now unless he's able to get it post Manta usage. Terrorblade now does have his Manta up, and he is going for a BKB. I do agree with that. Vino does have the mech up. Did Undying change his mind? Yeah, he did. So he did change his headdress into going for a pipe. So that's good that they were able to communicate that a little bit. The other team is smoked up, but they're going to be quite sad to see that they only find the smoked, or the Lion. In fact, they're not going to find anyone. The Shadowblade was quite late onto the Rubik going uphill because the smoke popped just before he used it, and Lion was able to blink away. Storm was able to zip away before they ended up catching anyone. Excuse me. Anti-Mage now on top of net worth by about 800 gold. And the net worth difference is now down to 2k. And Dire is riding a huge wave of momentum right now. And it's... Radiant team is kind of falling apart a little bit here. That Finger of Death kill was absolutely massive, and now Anti-Mage has a DD. Are they going to go onto this Terrorblade? It looks like they're going to try. Blink over the top, getting a lot of damage onto the Terrorblade. Already out of mana. We do see the call onto Anti-Mage himself. Tombstone is down with the Vino ulti over the top. The zip-in by Storm Spirit gets the Orchid onto the Anti-Mage after Manta, but absolutely gets decimated. Shane Frost not going to blink, not going to bounce at all. We do see a huge stun by Lion, but it's going to be too late. Rubik is just stealing left, right, and center. The Tombstone zombies just nomming all their prey, and that's going to be 4 down. Buyback from Storm Spirit, but this looks like it's going to be a set of racks. He does try and zip over the cross, doing his Storm Spirit things where he TPs out. Do they care? They don't. Terrorblade gets lifted up, and there's a stolen. Oh my goodness, that was a Manta dodge on the Magic Missile, and there's a lot of damage coming out from the Radiant team on the Dire team. Anti-Mage does fall, but Terrorblade does fall in return. Will that be enough to stop the creep push? It will. The Storm Spirit zip over the cross with the TP play did kill the creep wave to where they have backdoor protection. They lose the tier 3 tower, but they don't end up losing the racks, and they get the kill on the Anti-Mage. So just to kind of give you an idea of what happened in that team fight, the Storm zipped across in the middle of the fray. Terrorblade gets lifted, but ends up magic missiling, Manta dodging the magic missile because the Venge just waited a fraction of a second too long to throw it out, and he's able to get the Sunder because of that, and they get a huge burst of damage with the Remnant on 4, I believe. If Venge is just a little bit quicker on that magic missile trigger, there's no chance he has to get that Manta off. Storm is a little bit in the danger zone here, sees the Plague Ward there, and he will be best served just to get out of dodge there. Venge is looking, but they don't have any follow-up even if he does find him, so.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
Looks like Axe is going back for that Blade Mail now. Sees he needs a little bit more damage whenever he does get that call onto Anti-Mage. We'll have it pretty shortly here. Storm is now going back for Lincoln's, trying to mitigate as much damage as he can from the Mana Void, but they have a lot of ways to proc that. To proc that Lincoln's. I mean, Rubik himself can just use his ulti on him. It's a 2-second cooldown, and he pops the Lincolns right then and there. I would probably prefer a BKB on that guy instead. Shadowblade Rubik is going to find the lift onto the Axe. Anti-Mage over the top. He does get the call off, but he's out of mana completely. I would be surprised if he gets away here. Even Tombstone just for good measure. Not wanting to use his Mana Void. In fact, he's just taunting it, just getting the kill without using Mana Void. And now he has it for the next fight. I actually like that play, saving the Mana Void. A lot of lower level Anti-Mage players would have just thrown out the Mana Void, but he has it for the next fight now. It looks like they will try and transition this into a tier 2 push. Blink ahead by the Anti-Mage just to push the Lich back to scare him, but he does staff away. Rubik is trying to search with his Shadowblade, but the Sentry is down by the Radiant team. And Storm is trying to get this tier 1 tower down in response. Probably will finish it. In fact, they do use the fort. And the Dire team is now onto the tier 3 tower top lane. Already down to about half HP. We do see Terrorblade TPing back now. And they do get the tier 3 tower down. They are going to back up, and it looks like they might regroup now. Storm is zipping across the top and zips immediately back. And it looks like Dire is completely happy with getting that tier 3 tower, saying, let's go ahead and get the shrine, maybe get a Roche after we finish this shrine off, and then we'll go back and push. Dire team do need to make sure that they have some vision down, because Radiant do have really good Roche contesting team. And when you have a lot of heroes in that Roche pit, Call plus Chain Frost is going to do a lot of damage. Let's see if the Radiant team maybe trying to do a smoke play, and it looks like they already have smoked up, and they are running there right now. Roche is already down to about half HP. It's getting very close here. This is going to be a huge fight by the looks of it. Axis smoke does pop. He does get the call off. Only on one, though. The lift immediately. He's going to get swapped out. The zip over the top by the Storm. We do see a huge Chain Frost coming out. The Veno does try and get his ulti out. We do see the Venge falling very low. Chain Frost is still jumping down. Anti-mage does blink over the top. Almost gets the Mana Void off onto the Storm, but it's not going to be enough. A dunk does come out, finishing off the Rubik. Very huge kill coming out. The Lich does fall from the poison. We do see a lot of damage coming out from the Terrorblade over the top onto the Veno as well. A Mana Void finally does come out, finishing off the Storm. We do see another kill coming out onto the Undying. He falls as well, and it is a 4 for 2 right now. The Anti-Mage is getting a lot of damage, kills off the Axe, but he does get stunned by the Lion, and the Anti-Mage gets finished off, and it's a team wipe for the Radiant team. Like I said, that's a lot of damage and a lot of potential coming out from the Radiant team to stop this Roche coming out, and Radiant are going to snatch the Aegis. And when I say snatch the Aegis, I mean they just go and finish off the Aegis after getting the team wipe, so... Anti-Mage and Undying did buy back there, thinking they might be able to get back to that Roche before it's finished off. Anti-Mage was quite close to getting there, just barely a little bit too late. And having that Aegis now onto the Terrorblade is a huge deal. Huge deal. Great play by the Radiant team to contest that Roche. Perfect initiation. Only got the call on one, but it gave him vision for the Lich to get in there and get the Chain Frost onto 3, and that was the big factor. I mean, that Chain Frost did a lot of damage, and I'm pretty sure he used Sinister Gaze right after that onto the Anti-Mage, so Rubik was not able to steal the Chain Frost, so really good job by him. I also did not see Finger of Death stolen as well, and Rubik got killed quite quickly. I think he was the second person to die in that team fight, so... absolutely great team fight coming out by the Radiant team there, neutralizing the Rubik's ability. Call does come out onto the Rubik as well with the Battle Hunger as well. Gets him down to about a half HP. We do see Anti-Mage and Undying showing up to the party. Terrorblade is TPing in. Tombstone over the top. We do see another call onto the Anti-Mage. Gets him down to about half HP. A 4th HP. He does get mech'd up and he does Manta Blink away. We do see another Chain Frost coming out over the top. It is going to bounce a little bit. He does steal. He does not steal. Good job by the Lich to use another spell. Zip out over the cross by the Storm. Uses the dust to make sure that he sees the Shadow Blade by the Rubik. A lot of damage coming out from the Fade Bolt, but we do see a Sunder from the Terrorblade. Gonna finish off the Undying as well, and the Vengeful Spirit's gonna fall as well. We do see a swap. Huge Mana Void's gonna kill 3! Triple kill by the Anti-Mage. Ultra kill by the Anti-Mage. And this is gonna be another kill onto the Terrorblade, I would like to say. He has his BKB up, and he does use Metamorphosis with his Manta. No mana onto the Anti-Mage. Will he fall? Barely doesn't. Veno barely alive as well. Uses the Greaves. And now they're going to turn on this Terrorblade. The BKB is over. He's at about a 4th HP. Shadowblade from the Rubik is going to find him. Uses the Stolen Reflection. Gets him really low from the Stolen. Metamorphosis attacks him fast. That's going to kill him. Lion bought back for this, and he is going to fall. A Magic Missile to keep him in place with the Wave of Terror. Oh no, Radiant team. Absolute disaster.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant structures
Absolute disaster. Anti-Mage has had a couple huge turning points with his Mana Voids this game. Lich caught up with the lift plus the Earth Spike stolen from Lion. Anti-Mage comes in and they get the kill on him. Terrorblade does buy back. They've already lost the bottom racks at this point. He buys back. He doesn't have Metamorphosis for 90 seconds. I don't know what he's expecting to do here.
Dire's middle tower is
And this game has really slipped away from the Radiant team. Completely dumpstered the laning phase and just lost a couple bad fights. Dire team just making the plays. I mean, like I said in the draft, it's one thing to have a good draft. It's another thing to execute it properly, and Radiant team, they won the laning stage, and usually whenever you win the draft, you win the laning stage for the most part, and that's what happened. But Dire Team has out-executed them in almost every single fight. Pretty much every fight other than the Roche fight. I mean, that Stolen Finger of Death pretty much won that fight by itself. We've had Mana Void pretty much completely win a fight 2 times. That's 3 fights right there that have just completely turned the tides of the entire game there. So, man, Dire Team just really playing well right now this game. We do see an Rod of Atos coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, trying to keep the Storm in play. So good pickup by him. And they are going to smoke up, trying to find something here. Storm has Lincoln's, but it is in his stash. In fact, he is getting to his stash there really quickly. Shadowblade lift onto the Lion, and he's going to fall very, very quickly. No buyback on him, and he does steal Earthspike as well. That is a big deal. Rubik with another lockdown. Atos does come out onto the Lich. Do they follow it up as well? No, they do not. Shadowblade again from this Rubik, and they don't have a sentry down to see it. We do see a swap coming out onto the Terrorblade. Earthspike over the top with a lift, and he is going to fall pretty shortly. The Axe Call does mitigate it a little bit, and he gets time to Sunder. Anti-mage has to blink out, and the Metamorphosis is there, doing a lot of damage. Sinister Gaze onto the Undying. A lot of health on him. Another zip by the Storm Spirit. Blue is getting low. Axe does fall. Terrorblade does fall as well. That's a dieback, and it looks like this is the end of the game. Team wipe again by the Dire Team. And another triple kill by the Anti-Mage. GG does come out. Radiant Team looked like they had a chance there. Got the chance with the Axe Call delaying so that he could get a Sunder out. Just wasn't enough. Just too little, too late. And Dire will take this game. I do apologize for having this thing up here in the top right on the entire game. I forgot to click that button. I'm so sorry, guys. I've just been so out of it this past week, being sick. But getting back into the groove of things, getting all these casts done for you guys. So good game by both sides there. You really saw the epitome of execution is what wins you the game. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, you can do as good as you can. Let me see if I can show you guys the stats there. I think it was this one. You can win the draft all you want, but you still have to execute. And if you don't execute, you could have the best draft in the world, the biggest outdraft in the world, and you could still lose. And that just goes to show you that that is exactly what happened in this game. So we saw, I mean, we were about 20 minutes in. There was about a 10K net worth, and it just team fight after team fight went down. This right here, this was the Roche fight where Radiant Team actually won the first fight in a while, but it kind of went back down. Another huge mana void, and yeah, that's about all there is to say about that one. So hopefully you guys like the cast. Trying my best here for you guys while I still recover. Gonna knock out all the casts that I kind of fell behind on, but hope you guys like this game. Let me know what I can do better, as always, in the comments. I really do take any constructive criticism to heart to get better for you guys, so just let me know, and I will see you guys on the next one.